Welcome to this vlog. I decided to kind of do something a little independently this week. I got through my entire April TBR and I was kind of looking at books to read for this month, and I wasn't really feeling any of the books that I'd recently bought. So I was trying to figure out what to read next, and then I started looking at I watching some of their booktube videos and watching some other people kind of talk about other stuff, and I decided I was I have all of these books by these very hyped thriller authors that I've never read, and I was really curious about reading them. So I either have them in my Kindle library, or I have them as audiobooks, or I have them from the library checked out. So I was what? I think I'm just going to try and really focus this week on reading 3 books by some hyped thriller authors that I've never read before. And I thought I would vlog that entire experience. So I'm going to read, and I'll put photos up on the screen because all of these are either checked out from the library or audiobooks. So I don't have the physical copies of any of these. So I'm going to be vlogging my experience as I'm listening or reading on my device, just kind of what I think, because this is also a chance for me. I don't read ever on my phone. I never read EPUBs on my phone or whatever, or from my Kindle. And I have a bunch of books that I've purchased that way, but I never had the desire to read on my phone. I just like reading the physical copies, So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to also talk about the experience of reading digitally and what that was like for me, because I don't really ever do that. So I'll put photos up right here of the books that I'm going to be reading. The first one is 9 Lives by Peter Swanson. I own a couple of books by Peter Swanson, and this is his newest one, and I've heard people talk about it and say good things about it. So I'll be kind of curious how I feel about it, because I've never read Peter Swanson ever, but this book is, it's right here. It's been very much compared to Agatha Christie and Then There Were None. And I enjoy that kind of slow burn mystery where there's a bunch of people involved. So I'm kind of excited to read that. The second one is The Family Upstairs by Lisa Jewell. This one I actually do have the book for, but I'm going to be listening to the audiobook while I'm reading it. So I've never read Lisa Jewell. We own Lisa Jewell, and there's a couple of other ones that I've been interested in buying in the past, but I've just never read it yet. So I'll be kind of curious to read Lisa Jewell and see what I think about that. So this book we've owned for a while, but I just never felt the desire, I guess, to crack it open. But when I was able to get the audiobook from the library, I was okay, I'll do it now. And the last one is The One by John Marrs. I do own The Passengers by John Marrs, and I have The One in my Kindle library. And The One, I think, is being actually adapted into a Netflix series, or has been adapted into a Netflix series. So I was I'm curious to read this. And a lot of booktubers that I they love John Marrs. So I was well, why not give John Marrs a try, because I've never read any of his stuff either. So that is my aim for the week, is to read these 3 books in a week. We'll see how that goes. And see what I think about them, because I've never read any of these hyped thriller authors, and they all have really dedicated followings, and lots of people really love them. So I'll be kind of curious to see how I feel about them. And maybe I'll want to read more afterwards. So, and also this, will help increase my book number for the month, which I'm excited about too. So yeah, stay tuned to the vlog. I'll be talking about these 3 books as I kind of get through them, and we'll see how I feel. So stay tuned. If you can't tell, I'm in my classroom, by the way. I got here super early this morning and was answering some emails and writing some recommendation letters. And I decided to, while I was doing that, listen to the audiobook for 9 Lives by Peter Swanson. So I popped that in and I was listening to it, and was kind of shocked, because I how quickly it moved. And I looked up at my computer and I was done writing my recommendations and getting some grading done and doing my emails and all of that stuff. And then I looked down at my phone and I had gotten like 25% of the way through, which was kind of cool. And it moved so fast, which I was kind of shocked by. And I don't feel like I lost anything, which was great. So, it's essentially a redux of And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie. So 9 people get a mysterious letter in the mail. It just has 9 names on it, and they don't know anyone else on the list. And it's basically just them kind of like trying to figure out who these other people are, and why they're on this list. The one thing that I don't love is that there is one of the people on the list is an FBI agent, so there's a lot of like detective work trying to figure out what's going on, but it doesn't really get in the way. There's no issue with that really. Like the chapters are short, they move really fast, and each chapter is focusing on a new person on the list. So you get to know everybody in like fits and starts, which is kind of cool. I'm only about 25% of the way through the book right now, and someone has died, which is interesting, to say the least. And I'm curious where this will go, and if it will how this mystery will unfold. So my hope is to kind of get through it today, because I'm already 25% of the way through. So if I can, when I get home after school today, just kind of sit down and power through the rest of it, I might be able to finish it today, but we shall see. So far, so good. I like it. Well, hello. It is later in the afternoon, and I am I got home from work, did some more reading, attempted to take a nap, but that didn't really pan out for me. And so I had decided David had a rough day, so I'm gonna go get him some wine and some chocolate and some gummy bears and hope that helps. I just wanted to pop on and do a quick update. So I'm about 50% of the way through 9 Lives by Peter Swanson. And what I do like about it is that chapters are short, things move quickly. The story is unfolded very, very nicely throughout the process so far. So what I like the most is that, every chapter is a different person's perspective. So you get a wide variety of perspectives as the book, unfolds, which is really nice. The downside to the book is that people die. I don't think that's a spoiler. I don't think me saying that is a spoiler at all. It is a book about a list of 9 people, and they're being picked off. So that's part of the deal. But you kind of start to get to know the people, and you start to like them a lot. So that's kind of shitty. I don't like that part, but it's just to be expected. So I haven't really figured it out. I thought I would be able to figure it out, but I haven't yet. So I'm kind of curious to see where that goes. The audio is really good, really quick, really fast. The characterizations are really nice. I like that a lot. So yeah, I think I'll finish it by today. So I'll finish that book in 24 hours, which is kind of cool. I don't love doing this, but I did start The Family Upstairs, and I did start The One by John Marrs. So I'm about 120 pages into The One by John Marrs, and I really like it. I really like it. The concept is cool. It's interesting. And just like 9 Lives, every chapter is a different person's perspective. And the concept is really cool. I'm going to pop on a little bit later and just spend some more time talking about The One, and maybe a little bit of The Family Upstairs. The Family Upstairs I'm less enthralled with at the moment, but we'll see how that goes. So yeah, I'm going to go pick up wine, gummy bears, and chocolate, come back home, get that ready before he comes home from work, and then I'm going to do some more reading. And I'll pop back on a little bit later and kind of talk through those other 2 books as I get there. So we'll see you soon. David hasn't yet arrived home from work, so I'm anxious to see what he thinks, and I hope that he enjoys it. I mentioned that when I came back home, I was going to spend a little bit more time kind of talking about the other two books that I'm reading, because I am the furthest through Nine Lives of Peter Swanson right now, and I am, like I said, really enjoying it. I'm going to try and finish it tonight if I can. And a little bit more than halfway. I listened to more of the audio on my drive, and so I got through a little bit more of that. So I'm hoping that tonight, later, I can kind of pop back on and talk to you about how I felt about it. So I do want to talk about the other two books that I'm reading. The first one is The Family Upstairs by Lisa Jewell, which I am probably about 100 pages into, maybe not quite 100 pages, 76 pages into. And I like it, I guess, so far, kind of, sort of. It's okay. Like, I'm not like fully invested yet. But the one that I am fully invested in is, you can't see it because it's so bright, is The One by John Mars. So this is a book that I have avoided reading for a while. I've avoided a lot of John Mars stuff, even though people talk about it all the time, because it's more like techno thriller horror kind of thing. And like, while I loved Black Mirror, I was like, maybe this isn't really my genre. I don't know. But I'm regretting it because I really like The One. The premise is very simple. It's a dating service basically that matches you based on DNA. So it matches you like 99.999997% perfectly with your DNA match. The trouble with it is that there are there are definitely some not great people out there who you don't want to be matched with, and some of the chapters are focusing on some of those not great people. There's also some really like heartwarming stories, and as I said, I'm about 100 pages in to that book, and I'm kind of like, I want to put everything else down and just finish that book because it's great. I am reading it on my iPad because I got it from the library, and I also have the audio, so I'm listening to that as well while I'm reading it. And we have the physical copy of The Family Upstairs by Lisa Jewell, so I'm kind of reading that. I don't normally do like reading 3 books at once. I kind of can't keep my attention focused. But between The One and Nine Lives, my attention's pretty well evenly split. Like, I'm not like losing anything. I think if I were to like really jump back into this one again, I probably would lose some of that, but I'll be curious to see how I feel. So yeah, my reading plan so far is to just kind of keep barreling through Nine Lives and see if I can finish it tonight. And then hopefully by tomorrow I can finish The One, and then maybe by the end of the week, maybe today's Tuesday, so maybe by the end of the week I can finish The Family Upstairs, though I'm less interested in that one. It hasn't really caught my attention yet, so we'll see. So I'm going to read for a little bit until David gets home, and then surprise him, and then we'll make some dinner, and either we'll watch TV or we'll read. I haven't decided fully yet, so... Good evening. It's bedtime. As you can tell, I am in bed, getting ready to go to sleep, but I wanted to pop on and kind of talk a little bit about Nine Lives by Peter Swanson. I finished it. I did it. Less than 24 hours, I finished a whole book. So I was pretty surprised by my progress. Not super surprised because the book is actually moves pretty fast for the most part, and the audiobook clearly helped me a lot. And I had thoughts on it. Like, I liked it enough. I returned it to the library like as soon as I was done, because I don't think I'm ever going to read it again. And I don't know how interested I am in reading any more Peter Swanson, to be completely fair. The Agatha Christie and then the Renan tie-in, the kind of slow burn mystery and like how it unfolds is all really cool, and I like the idea of it. I was just kind of ultimately disappointed by this book. Like you go into it knowing that people are going to die. Obviously, they're on the list and they're being killed. Like, that's part of the description. Like, you kind of know that's going to happen. However, I didn't want some of them to die. Like, I know they're going to have to, but it's like, yeah. there were some characters where I was like, no, not them, please, not them, which I guess is a sign of good writing in a sense. But ultimately, I felt like the twist at the end and the reveal was kind of disappointing, even though I didn't really see it coming and I hadn't really figured it out. I was ultimately disappointed by it, I think. I'm still processing because I literally just finished the book and like came in, sat down and recorded. So, I don't know. Like the speed of it, the pace was great. I really liked how the mystery unfolded, but the ending was really a letdown, and I was just kind of like, by the time I got to the end, I was like, womp womp. Who cares? Like whatever. It wasn't. I don't know. It wasn't anything that I'm like, this is the best book I've ever read. I'm going to read everything he's ever written now. Like, I did not feel that way. Obviously, I'm also having some, I was just laying in bed reading. So I'm having some, massive bedhead issues. So excuse me, if you will. I'm just going to keep messing with my hair until it's like, oh, what does it matter? I'm going to bed. Yeah, I just think ultimately, execution-wise, could have been better. It was an enjoyable book. I got through it really quickly. I probably won't remember it at the end of the year, if I'm honest. So, it's a solid 3.5 out of 5 stars if I was going to give it a star rating. I'll be curious what my grade actually ends up looking like at the end of the month. So, but yeah, I'm further into The One by John Mars. I think I'm close to halfway through. My hope is to maybe finish that tomorrow and then see where I end up. And if I can finish that tomorrow, then I will probably try to finish Family Upstairs by Lisa Jewell sometime soon, hopefully by the end of the week. So hopefully I'll come back tomorrow and I'll give you some more updates on The One and see if I can finish that. And then, we'll see where we end up. So I'm going to go to bed. Morning. What a productive couple of days. I'm kind of shocked by it, honestly. Obviously, I'm back at work this morning. As you saw last night, I finished 9 lives by Peter Swanson, and then stayed up longer than I should have, reading The One by John Mars, which I'm about now halfway through. And I'm really, really loving it. More than I thought I would like it. Obviously the concept is interesting and all of that. Just from a what I like perspective, I was like, well, of course I should like this. Why have I never read it? And maybe it's just because it's always been on my periphery and never right in my face, I'm glad I picked it. I originally was going to do The Passengers by John Mars, and I still might do that one after just to see if I like all of his writing. The One is great. I will put on the screen if I'm giving up any spoilers or anything like that, but the concept is cool. Finding your DNA match, your permanent match, and then what those consequences are, when you find them, and what that's like, and if they're alive or dead, or if they're a psychopath, or if they're just normal, or there's just lots of consequences to it, and there is a murderer in the mix. So you're kind of someone's matched with a murderer, and that's, odd. Also, my chair is just slowly falling as I sit here, whatever. it's actually really interesting. Just like in Nine Lives in a way, where like the plot slowly unfolds as you go through everyone's perspective and their lives as they kind of deal with what's going on with them right now. Like that's all really, really, I don't know, it's really engaging. Like I think I'm gonna really push hard to finish it tonight. And that way tomorrow I can really focus on finishing The Family Upstairs so I can get all three of these books wrapped up. In the effort to complete my task, I think I'm gonna really work at it. I'm really impressed by this concept and how like how how invested I am with some of these characters and how much I want them to like fall in love, or how much I want them to really like find their one. And then there's also this fear where there's this murder thing that's happening, and like you don't want someone to fall victim to that, and so it's kind of scary. And there is some graphic stuff, there is some violent graphic stuff, so if that's like not your bag, then like as I said, there is a murderer afoot in the novel, so that might take some of that out for you. But I yeah, I would recommend it. Like I'm excited to share it with David because I think he'd actually like it too. I think he would really enjoy the concept a little bit. Look, I'm going to listen to the audio while I'm sending some emails and doing some grading, and then see if I can finish it. We have early release today, which is kind of nice. So the meeting after school with some kids, and then I am going to head home and read. Hello again. It is Wednesday night, and I just finished The One by John Mars. Y'all, I cannot stop smiling because that book like freaking blew me away. I don't know why I was so resistant to read John Mars. I don't know why. I don't know what it is. Like I don't know. Maybe it's because it was popular and like people were talking about it a lot, and maybe that's why I didn't want to read it. But like, there's a reason people talk about that freaking book, and it's so good. Like I loved it. Like there wasn't, I couldn't even tell you, there's like not even a thing I would change about that book. Like from like a perspective of what I like to read, it like ticks every box. And usually I'm not a huge fan of the like Black Mirror-esque like techno thriller type things, like that are about like the dangers of technology and like what the future is going to hold for us. Like normally that's not my thing, like at all. But this book was like, it wasn't just about that. Like that was the vehicle for it. But ultimately it's about why we fall in love, the consequences of falling in love, what happens when you fall in love, what it feels like to fall in love, and like what it feels like to compromise yourself for love. Like there's just, it has a lot to say about the act of falling in love. It just uses the technology aspect as a way to have those pieces and those parts of that conversation. Yeah, floored by it. I will dive deeper into like my actual thoughts in our wrap up when I do the report card. But yeah, I just absolutely loved it. I thought it was great. I thought that the way that the chapters moved so quickly, and they are short, like no more than 4 or 5 pages, was really, really nice. Like it keeps you on the edge of your seat. There's cliffhangers at the end of every chapter. Like you really want to know what's happening next. I did find myself multiple times. I was driving home after work today, and I was listening to it, and I, in the car, audibly was like, and then I was laying down when I got home, and David was like kind of falling in and out of sleep, and I was reading, and I was like, oh no, no, when I was reading things, and he was like, why are you making so much noise? This book and Nine Lives have a lot in common in a way. Like just kind of in how they are laid out and how they're written. But the one is so much better. So much better. Yeah, like it was so good. Also, I did not read the physical copy of this book. So I have the ebook on my phone, and I also had the audiobook. So I was listening to it sometimes and reading it sometimes, and then like I don't like to read on my phone. I like having the physical book in my hand. But it didn't bother me. I kind of liked it. Like I don't like having to hold my phone and read from my phone like before I'm going to bed. And now I don't have this like physical copy to like put on the shelf. I think I'm going to buy it anyway because I want David to read it because I'll be curious if he likes it. I think he might actually like it. So, wow, pleasantly surprised. Like, probably this is like one of the better feelings I've had about a book in a very long time. Like that, I just loved it. I thought everything about it was great. I still have one book left. I still have The Family Upstairs by Lisa Jewell, which, as you heard me say yesterday, I'm not super stoked to continue that. I'm about 80 pages into it and I have about 200 left. I'm not like super excited, so we'll see. Tomorrow is Thursday, and I'm really trying to get all of this like vlogged this week so I can get it up on Friday. So we'll see where I am tomorrow in The Family Upstairs. I'm not gonna like push myself too hard to finish it if I'm not enjoying it. And so if I'm not enjoying it, I'll DNF it and you'll see it as part of the vlog as well, but we'll see how I feel. I don't know yet. I haven't fully decided. So I'm excited though. Yeah, this is great. So well, I'm going to go make dinner and watch Survivor with David, and then I might go to bed a little early and see if I can get myself back into The Family Upstairs and see if I can figure out what's going on. So good evening. It's bedtime, clearly. I went to bed a little early with the intention of like continuing or working on The Family Upstairs by Lisa Jewell. And well, I thought earlier that I might DNF it because I wasn't really into like the first 80 pages of it. I am definitely not DNFing it now because I'm about 200 pages in and I'm actually really enjoying it. So the first, 70 pages were a little confusing. A lot of new characters being introduced, lots of things like that are kind of confusing as to what's really happening. But then once you kind of get into it, it starts to kind of all click together and make sense. And ultimately, it's about a young girl whose family died, and whether she thinks that they've died, and then she inherits this giant house that was once theirs, and some strange things happened in this house when she was a child, and she's trying to figure out what's going on. And so it kind of jumps back and forth. I think a theme this time around is like books with like multiple perspectives, kind of all over the place. So I don't mind it though, because I like the three people that we're kind of focusing on, two in the present, one in the past, which is kind of nice and kind of interesting. So weirdly, like looking at the cover, it actually kind of has like, it seems like it has kind of like a Flowers in the Attic vibe a little bit. Like there's this like weird communal thing. I think David would enjoy that quite a bit. So there he is, he's reading. Say hi, baby. So yeah, I like it so far. I didn't think I was going to like it, but I'm actually really, really enjoying it. So I'm curious to see where it's going to go. I am going to wake up early in the morning, I think, and try to maybe finish it. So if I can get maybe 50 more pages read tonight, I'll have less than 100 pages left. So I can probably easily get through that in the morning. That is my hope, at least. So hopefully I'll check back in with you tomorrow and then see if I can get this book finished. Good night. I did something. I finished The Family Upstairs by Lisa Jewell this morning. I'm kind of shocked. Like, I was really, really not looking forward to it, honestly. Like, I was really thinking that, like, this would not be my thing, especially like the first 80 pages, were kind of rough and hard to kind of keep, track of. But I loved it. Like, it is so twisty, and the writing is so well done, and it like parses out these little individual pieces, as you go, which is great. And like, you're slowly learning things about this family and what has happened to them as children, and then like all of this like twisty turny stuff starts to come out at the end, and it was great. Like, I was really worried that I wasn't going to enjoy it or that I wasn't going to like it. But I mean, this is a solid like 4.5, 5 stars for me. Like, if I was going to give it a star rating, I'll be curious what my book report card looks like for this one. But genuinely shocked how good it was and how much I liked it. And this morning, it's a kind of a gray, drizzly morning. So it was like the perfect morning to finish this book, which is like very British, very thrillery. Yeah, like I just enjoyed it so much. And I think maybe I'm starting to like this like alternative perspectives and chapters, because it's like the 3 books that I've read for this vlog have all been that way. Some to greater success than others, obviously. Like the 9 Lives one, I liked that part of it, but I didn't like the book itself. And the one, obviously, like perfect chef's kiss. And this one, just like, you get to know these 3 people throughout their different perspectives as the novel goes, which is obviously the point, but it works so well, and you become so invested in what's going on. And all that confusion I had at the beginning, all of the things that like didn't make sense to me at the beginning, really clicked into place. I read the first 80 pages like 2 or 3 days ago, and then put it down because I wasn't really feeling it. So that's when I picked up the one. And then when I jumped back in, I was like, oh God, am I going to go back and read this again? And I didn't. Luckily, I did not. So I was really, really happy and impressed by what I read. So I would heartily recommend The Family Upstairs by Lisa Jewell. If you haven't read it, I'm now curious to read other Lisa Jewell books, because I like her writing style. It's obviously very British and very thriller heavy. So I think I would enjoy that part of it. So I'm curious to see what else comes next for Lisa Jewell. At the end of this book, there is a preview of her next one, or her next one at the time, which was 2 years ago. So yeah, I'm gonna kind of collect my thoughts a little bit, and a little bit later today, I'm gonna record like a little wrap up of everything and how I felt about everything. But yeah, I was worried this was gonna like kill my reading for the month, but like it really just kind of opened it up. So I'm pleasantly surprised. So happy Thursday. From the day I'm recording this, you'll be seeing this tomorrow, hopefully. So yeah, 3 books in less than a week. Pretty proud of myself, if I do say so myself. So it's a little bit later in the afternoon. School is over and I'm about to go home. And so I just wanted to quickly like pop back in and just kind of sum up my thoughts on these 3 books. Like I said earlier today, I was really nervous about deciding to do this in a week, because I'm like, can I read 3 books in a week? Can I get through them? Can I like maintain a good pace so that I can have, video done for a vlog that I could have up by Friday? That part made me nervous, obviously. And then picking 3 books by authors I have never read before also made me nervous, but pleasantly surprised by 2 out of the 3. And even 9 Lives, I enjoyed the concept of the novel, and I enjoyed the way it was like laid out and how quickly it, came together. But the book overall was a bit disappointing. 3 out of 5. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great. But the other 2, like, top tier for me. And I don't know why I'm surprised. I mean, I've heard tremendous things about both of these authors and both of these books, so I shouldn't be too surprised that I had that reaction, but I did. I'm just really surprised by kind of what came out of this. I will now be buying and reading more Lisa Jewell and more John Mars. I think for May I'm going to do The Passengers, and I might pick another one of his just to see if I like it. And then Lisa Jewell is very prolific and has a lot of books, so me, finding the next one is going to be a little bit difficult. But I think she might even have a new one coming out this summer, but I could be wrong. So overall, my thoughts: 9 Lives, good concept, interesting writing, interesting, style. Ultimately, the end disappointed me, not too badly, but the one by John Mars, like, perfect book. I really loved it. I think it's a great concept, and I am curious to see what else I like of John Mars. And then The Family Upstairs, which was a book I really thought I wasn't going to like, that just surprised the hell out of me. I'm very happy with these 3 books. So overall, a good week of reading, a good way to end my month. This will take my total for the month up to 7 books, I believe. 6 or 7, I can't fully remember. I think it's 6 or 7 books. Which, again, in a month where I've been really busy with very little breaks is a surprise. So, well, that's it for me. I hope you enjoyed the vlog. I hope you enjoyed this experience. I apologize if I didn't vlog enough of me reading, especially because I was reading on my phone, which was an interesting experience in and of itself. But I hope you enjoyed this. Comment down below what you thought. Like the video, subscribe if you have a chance to, share it with somebody, and we'll see you very soon with our April wrap-up. So have a good day.